Hello, hello, hello. Angel here. Welcome to or back to my channel. Thank you for stopping, clicking and watching. And if you're returning, thank you for supporting the channel. So today we're doing May favourites. I feel like I've done a lot in May, I've got to say. And I'm going to start with what I intended to do in May. And that was to research and connect with Melocina, the freshwater deity. I'm going to pop a picture in here so you know who I'm talking about, and even research and investigate more into the dragon and treasure chest synchronicities that I'd been receiving in my readings and even in my daily life. So that was the main focus of the month, which I did, among other things. I'm going to start with Melocina. Now, Melocina, I just got a bee in my bonnet at the beginning of May, but I wanted to make a poppet. And that's exactly what I did. I had some old fabric in my arts and crafts stash, as it were. And I just cut her out of material, sewed her, I padded her or stuffed her with some old stuffing that I had. And same with the tail. And in her tail, I popped in some crystals, some specific crystals that I felt related to Melocina. And I want to say her archetype. Now, her archetype for me is the shapeshifter, and I feel that the shapeshifter is a very. I feel that. Let me start again. If you've been following my channel for any amount of time, you'll know that my beginner witch path started, and this spiritual path started because of my need for healing from a lot of old trauma and a lot of old that needs to be worked through and released. So I felt that the Melocina was the next step on my healing journey. So this is going to sound very strange, but I've been sleeping with Melocina beside me to strengthen the connection to my poppet. And I'm doing some poppet work, which I'm not going to go into. But I have mentioned before that I do have poppets of myself, a child poppet and even a young adult poppet that I also work with very often and use for spell work. So poppets are it's not a new concept for me. What was I going to say? I did, as mentioned, I did some research into Melocina as well. I'd already read a couple of books on her, and I have this book as well, which I started on this month. I've got another couple to be reading, which is ongoing. Let's see if I can pop that down there so I don't knock anything off. So yes, shape-shifting, definitely feel that that's the next step for me on my healing journey. I feel, just to, not to go into too much detail because I don't want to bore you, but I definitely feel that it's time to move forward and to take on a new energy and to be more daring and to what can I say? I'm going to sum up and say that I definitely feel that the shape-shifting energy is very, very relevant to where I'm in my healing journey at the moment. What a fantastic explanation. I love it. So yes, so that's that. That's going to continue in June, most definitely. My other intention for May was to look into the whole dragon and treasure chest synchronicities that have been showing up in my practice. I did that. That's ongoing as well, I have to say, actually, as well as continuing with the looking into the bison energy, which still appears to me in different synchronicities within my practice. I've been working quite a bit in this book this month. This is my Treasure Island, it's just a Treasure Island story. It's got a fantastic paper. This was a second-hand find at the charity shop, and I purchased it because of the paper, because the paper was such good quality, with the intention to make it into an art journal, or possibly just a journal to use in my practice, any kind of, not for a specific reason. Then once I purchased the book and brought it home, I decided that I wanted to start working with more poetry within my practice, and so I decided to start looking for words or phrases that really spoke to me within the text and creating poetry around that. That's kind of evolved a little bit more since getting the dragon synchronicities through. And that being said, don't laugh. This is my first and possibly last dragon that I'm going to be drawing. I picked this text out, which I mentioned in a different video actually. Treasure is ticklish. And that was before the dragon synchronicities started coming through, or so I felt. And the same with the treasure chest synchronicities. And then a day after I had picked this text out, I pulled a card, totally by fluke, 2 cards actually, which I showed in the previous video, of the dragon and a person holding a treasure chest. And since then, dragons and treasure chests have just been appearing in different synchronicities, and not necessarily to do with my cards either. The latest one being yesterday, which I'll pop a picture in here and now. So yeah, so that's my first and possibly last dragon. But you know, it's not about the way it looks, it's just about, you know, how it makes me feel. And this was my other dragon related page that I completed. The text reads, curiosity stronger than fear, I began running through the mist. So this has kind of become a maybe another journal to reflect what's happening in my practice. I don't know. I don't want to put a label on the journal. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it's just, you know, however I feel, whenever the mood takes me, I complete a page in this journal as well. So that's that. Let me just reposition myself on my chair because I was uncomfortable. I've been doing quite a lot of arts and crafts actually, different projects in May, in the month of May. This is my altered book project. I've recently done an update on that if you want to see that on my channel. And my latest page was this one. This is a project created by Claudia K Vintage, and she started this project back in January, which I just stumbled upon by accident. And Claudia releases a prompt for this project every single Wednesday, and it's a no stress, low stress project. So if you don't want to do the prompt every week, you don't need to. If if life is too busy and you don't get time to do it, that's completely fine. So it's just something to fill your cup and feed your soul, no more than that. So the prompt for this week was decorate a page with doodles, and as you can see, I've got a nature theme going on through my page because I'm totally feeling more than ever drawn to nature, and especially the birch tree. And if you've seen my latest videos, you'll know that. So speaking of nature and the forest, you may have seen that video that I posted recently about my tarot in nature adventure. And these are the decks that I was using and am using for that practice. If you've been watching any of my videos for a hot minute, you'll know that I've been feeling so drawn to the birch tree. And I really wanted to go out into nature and take my decks and connect to the energy and the wisdom of the birch tree. But I was feeling a bit hesitant. But, you know, I got over myself and I did it. I went out into nature and I took these 2 decks and I found the tree that I wanted to connect with. I'm going to post a picture now so you can see that tree. Now that was a short clip actually, not a picture. As you'll see from the picture, from the clip, you'll see that there's quite a big stone there, and I've been using that as an altar and as a place to lay out my cards while I'm looking at the tree. And that's actually become a favourite sacred space for me, a favourite altar. I love it. I feel so at peace when I'm just sitting there with my cards, pulling some card draws, and you know, connecting with the energy of the forest and the birch tree. I love it. The Wild Unknown has totally taken me by surprise, I've got to say. I've had some really profound readings with these 2 decks, and especially with the Wild Unknown. I totally did not expect to connect with the Wild Unknown as I have done. And if you told me that, you know, 2 months ago, I would have laughed at you, because this has been sitting on my tarot shelf for such a long time. But it's totally blown my socks off with the readings. I'm not gonna go into what the readings that I've received have been, but just to say that they have been really, really profound, and I've been so enjoying using these decks. So this is going to be a continued practice in June and onwards, I'm hoping. I'm going to put a little clip in now for you. The last time I was out, I even gave the birch tree an offering before doing a reading. So yeah, and here's a couple more pictures of my adventures out and about. So I've been really, really enjoying this practice, I have to say. And the last time I was out, I even picked up a few pieces of birch that were on the floor around the tree that I'm trying to connect with. Excuse me. And even some pieces of bark that I found around that tree, because I really wanted a reminder and a representation of that tree and that energy at home whilst I'm here at my witchy space. So I think I've mentioned before that on my walks I do tend to pick up, you know, pieces of, or maybe like branches or pieces of wood that I think are really, really interesting, or stones and things like that. And when I started going around my apartment and looking at the actual things that I've, you know, received, for gifts that I've received from nature, I've actually got a lot of birch that I never realised that I had in my apartment. So I've collected all those pieces of birch together, and I've made a little altar space here where I sit, so I can see it all the time as a constant reminder. And I love it. I really, really love it. So that's definitely a practice I'm going to be continuing with in June, July and August. Who knows? So that's one set of decks that I've been using in May, and will continue going forward, I have to say. Let me see if I can find some space where I am. Mingle amongst yourselves just for a wee moment. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so these were the other decks I was using in the month of May. This is the Rackham Tarot. Did I show you the backs? Don't think I did. I've edged mine in black. This is the Fairy Oracle, which I also edged in black. This is by the same artist. And then this is a French deck. These are the beautiful backs. Edged in, came out of the box like this, edged in gold, obviously. And this is a French deck, and this is called... Oh no, it's got it in my brain. I'm going to put it on the screen right now for you. Da, 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 da. Hopefully Editing Angel has remembered to do that. Yeah, this has been a total winner. I've loved it. And these three decks have been helping me connecting to Melocina's energy, I feel. Yes. What was I going to say? I feel this is going to be a bit of a rambly video, and I do apologise, and it's not my meaning to jump from one subject to the other, but I just don't want to forget to tell you things, so apologies in advance. I'm gonna say that I love this pairing. I really, really enjoyed it. Other decks that I used in May, I used the Beautiful Creatures Tarot. I used Heal Yourself cards, and I even used Tarot de la Nuit. Quite enjoyed that pairing. I tended to use the Beautiful Creatures Tarot more as an oracle than a tarot, but I did really enjoy the Tarot de la Nuit, I must say. That was a really good reader for me. Yes, they've been put back into order, and they are now back on my tarot shelf. I think I've mentioned before about my tarot cart. My tarot cart sits beside me here, and in my tarot cart I tend to have the decks that I'm using for that month. Then I tend to have decks that I use in other practices, for instance, my connected to the birch tree practice, or my ancestral practice, or maybe like these decks, which are, you know, connecting me to Melocina, and things like that. And then in the next level of my cart, I tend to have decks that are like favourites. So for instance, Tarot, the Rainbow with the Messenger Oracle and the Liminal Spirits Oracle deck. Things like the Fifth Spirit Tarot, the She-Wolf Tarot, things like that. Things that, decks that I really like to have close by so that I could just pull forward at any time whenever I feel the need to use them at this space where I'm sitting. Well, let me just tell you, that tarot cart is like overflowing now. I've got so many decks, and I've got so many new decks that have become, you know, favourites that I don't want to put them back onto my tarot shelf. So yeah, that's totally overflowing. But these three are also going to be rolling over into June, continuing with my work with Melocina. Really enjoyed these three as a combination, I have to say. And I'm going to continue by saying, let's just pop this one out of the way, and even the other Fairy Oracle. This continues on with another story, and also connects into, I think, the shape-shifting Melocina energy as well. This month I have been looking at apartments. I really want to move to a new apartment. I feel it's time. I've been in the apartment I'm in now since 2016, which is when my major tower moment happened. And I feel now that it's time to move on, to move forward, and to leave some things behind. And I feel that, you know, it's time for a fresh start. And I feel that I've been wanting to move for quite a while, but I haven't felt confident enough to do it. Not going into too much detail. And this month I just felt like, you know, it feels like the right time, and I'm gonna do it. So the first apartment I looked at was a beautiful apartment. It was a really large apartment, and it was in quite an old building, in an old house that was built in the 1900s. And I took my friend with me, my friend that doesn't know I'm a beginner witch. And I also took this tarot deck with me because I really wanted to do a reading whilst I was at the apartment. And the what's the word? I'm going to call it a tour because I can't think of another word for it. The person that was showing us around the apartment, the tour of the apartment, was going really, really well until we got to the master bedroom. And the master bedroom had, taking in mind it's an old building, had a very large, I'm going to call it like a storage room off of the master bedroom, which led up into the loft. And when I stepped into the master bedroom initially, the rest of the apartment had been really lovely. And the moment I stepped into that master bedroom, the energy was just wrong. It was off. It was totally off. I felt so uncomfortable. And I was thinking, there is absolutely no way I can sleep in this bedroom. And my plan had been that there was 2 bedrooms in this apartment, and my plan was that I would use the master bedroom for me, and I would use the second bedroom as a witchy hobby room, an art room. Is my dream. That's my total dream. But I could not imagine using that master bedroom as a master bedroom, or even as a witchy room. To sit in that room, it just made me feel so uncomfortable. And I went into the storage area, which was you could lock it. It could be locked from the outside. And I went in there, and there was just such a weird energy about it. And I went back out again with my friend, and we went back into the other part of the apartment, and she sat on a sofa that was in the lounge there and waited for me. And I thought, I'm going to just take a second look at that master bedroom and just see if I was just being a bit, you know, a bit funny. And I went into that second bedroom, and I stood there, the master bedroom, and I stood there, and I was, you know, trying to relax and trying to be a bit, you know, logical about the whole thing. And that, which was totally me, it was probably me that I never shut the door properly, but that storage area, that little storage room that led off to the loft, opened, the latch unlatched. I was thinking, that was totally a sign for me. So I went into that room that had just unlatched itself, and the door had opened slightly. And I went in there, and I got my cards out, and I did a reading, and I just thought, no, unfortunately no. It was a beautiful apartment, but the energy was totally off. So yeah, that was not to be, unfortunately. But the second apartment I looked at, that was at the end of last week, I really, really love. And so I'm keeping my fingers and my toes and my legs and my arms crossed, and any other crossable body part crossed, that I will be able to move into that apartment. Unfortunately, I'm in a queue system, so I'm the second person that's standing in the queue for that apartment. So I'm hoping that the first person in the queue is going to say thank you, but no thank you, I don't want to move in, and hopefully I will get to move into that apartment. But we shall see, only time will tell. And if I don't get to move into that apartment, it wasn't supposed to be. So fingers crossed. I'm looking forward to, I'm glad that I've gotten to that point now that I feel ready to move forward, ready to make a change. That to me is very, very important. I don't feel like I've been there in that at that point until now, and so that feels really, really good. I feel like yeah, I totally feel like it's a step forward just to be at that point in my life, I have to say. And sorry, just going back to my tower moment, if you wanted to know more about that, there's a video on my channel about my favourite tarot card, which is the Tower, where I explain a bit more about what I'm talking about, if you're interested. Trigger warning for that video. Anyway, so yes, so that was that. Those are the decks that I've been using. Have I been using any other decks? I don't think so. I think sneakily the Tarot at the End of the Rainbow has been sneaking into my readings in May, as well as the Messenger Oracle and the Luminal Spirits Oracle, of course, because I love those combinations of decks. Yeah. Some more crafty bits and pieces I've been doing this month. I redecorated, or revamped, should I say, my surf tablet holder, whatever you want to call this. I'm going to put a picture on the screen now of how this looked before I started. It was just bog standard purple, like fake leather look, and it had gotten really tatty. Not that I use my surf tablet very much, but anyway, the cover had got really tatty because it was quite old. And so I was thinking, you know, I don't really want to buy anything new, and I was thinking, oh, I could totally decoupage this. I could totally paint on this. And what does it matter if it looks naff? I can just, you know, worst case scenario, then purchase a new one if I want to, or just redecorate it again. So that's what I did. I decoupaged it, I threw paint at it, I threw oil pastels at it, I even printed with bubble wrap and some stencils that I had, threw some masking tape on it, why not? Same again here. This is obviously clipped in, but this is a also decoupaged with a serviette. And then I don't know if you can see this, I'm hoping you can catch the light. And I just Mod Podged the whole lot, which has got sparkle in. The Mod Podge I purchased has got silver sparkle in. Mod Podged the whole lot. I love it. It's absolutely fantastic. And I even added this because the old what's this called? Elastic that held the cover shut had gone all naff. So I just, you know, glued this in before I started. I don't know if you can see that. I'm hoping you can see that. Before I started decoupaging it and, you know, adding bits and pieces to it. And then I just, you know, tie it up. I love it. And this is also got glittery and sparkly. Look at that. I'm hoping you can see. It's all glittery and sparkly. So I love that. Apologies as well for my hands. They are banged up, dinged up, because we are renovating at work. And we've been using strong chemicals and cleaning and moving heavy equipment and stuff, so my hands have gotten dinged up. Apologies for that. Anywho, yes, what I was going to say was, whilst doing all this craftiness, I've been watching quite a bit of Netflix, and I like to watch what I call cozy television whilst I'm crafting. And for me, this is going to sound very bizarre, but for me, my crafty television viewing is for instance, The Haunting of Bly Manor, I think it's called. I watched this month. I even watched Haunting of Hill House and Midnight Mass. They were fantastic. I've seen Haunting of Bly Manor and Haunting of Hill House before. That they've got pretty much the same cast of actors in those two. Fantastic, I loved it. And Midnight Mass also had a couple of the same cast in. definitely recommend all 3 of those. They were absolutely fantastic. So that to me is cosy television. I'll tell you what else is cosy television when I'm crafting. I've got Predator versus Alien on DVD, that film. I love that film. That's totally a comfy, cosy film that I put on while I'm crafting, because it can just be playing in the background. I know, it's all very, very, very bizarre. Anywho, so yes, that was that. What else have I been doing in March? Yeah, I've obviously purchased a few bits and pieces, which I'm going to show you now. I ended up purchasing this book, 36 Secrets, A Decanic Journey Through the Minor Arcana of the Tarot, by T. Susan Chang. Now, when I started the deck and walk, I was thinking that I wasn't going to buy another book, because I have like 1001 books on my tarot and witchy bookshelves. But the more we went into the Decans, or the further we got into the deck and walk, I was thinking I really want this book, so I purchased it. And I'm thinking of my plan is to go back and obviously reread the Decans we've already worked with so far. So that was a newbie this month. I'm running out of space. Let's do this. New decks in my collection. This was a new deck this month. Tarot. I mean, really. Honestly, my language is just terrible. Tarot, what do we decide it's called? Illuminati, it's called. I can't think whose channel I saw this one on, but I saw it on somebody's channel, I can't remember who, and I was like, oh, yes! Now, I've already got this deck, which reminds me of this. Yes, it is. It reminds me of the same artwork, and it's by the same people. So that's interesting. Hence the reason I was obviously attracted to this one as well. These are the backs. I've edged mine in black because that's been my total theme for the last couple of months. Let's do this. Oh look, the tower is on the top. Oh, it makes me so happy. Yeah, and I don't think this deck is very old, but this totally gives me a 90s vibe. I don't know why. And I think I mentioned before, I'm not usually drawn to these kind of decks, but since purchasing this one, which I can't pronounce the name of, Tarot Apocalypsis. Oh my God, Bennett. Yeah, you see why I show the box and don't say the name, don't you? Since purchasing that one, I've kind of felt more drawn to these kind of ones as well. I love the colours. I love this. This totally reminds me of the Queen from Alice in Wonderland. Very bizarre. Yeah, love it. Love it. It feels, oh, I don't want to say the word, but it feels a wee bit cheesy, but I just love it anyway. I think I love it because it feels cheesy. I haven't used it yet, and I'm not planning to use it this month either. In June, obviously. We're in June now, obviously. But possibly July or August. But I really enjoy it. I love the colours, and I like that there's so much going on as well in the cards. Everybody feels a bit beautiful and a bit, of a skinny mini, but that's fine. I don't mind that. So yeah, that's that. That was a new deck. Another new deck that I purchased, which I've already started working with, obviously, because we're in June already, and that is this one. Nature's Wisdom Message Cards, 70 affirmation cards with instructions for use. It doesn't come with a guidebook. It comes in these quite small cards and the message on the back of the cards. And I think I saw this on Rose Honey Rituals channel and even Candy's channel, I feel. I'm sure that's whose channel I saw it on. Anyway, so I totally felt drawn to it because I've been really feeling drawn to nature. And so these just felt like they're just really cool to me. This was the first card that I drew when I first cleansed the deck and first did a reading. So there's just all different photographs of different things in nature, basically. But I really, really enjoy the message on the back. And I'm going to go into the decks I'm going to be using for June in my June decks and intentions video, which is coming very, very soon. And this totally fits with the theme of the month, I feel. So yes, that's that one. This card, I feel, is stalking me. Anyway, so that's that one. And then the last one, which I think I've shown in another video, is this one. This is the Wild Unknown Animal Spirits Oracle, I want to call it. It's the pocket version, obviously. Haven't edged mine yet. Don't know if I will. Yeah. So I've totally become a fan of Kim Crance's work. I've also got her other oracle, which is called, bear with. Let me see if I can grab it out of my tarot card. That's this one, the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck by Kim Crance as well. Let's put that back. So I've totally become a fan of her decks, which I never expected. So my plan is, I think, is to work with this one in connection with the Wild Unknown and the Faceted Garden Oracle. Did I say that right? The Faceted Garden. I think I've said that right. I'll put the name on screen if I said that incorrectly. That's my plan anyway, but we shall have to see. So yes, that's that. What else have I been doing? Watching quite a bit of YouTube this month, I have to say. I've been really enjoying the Mad Witch. I love her channel. I've been so enjoying that. I really been enjoying Candy's channel. Candy's Soul and Soil. I hope I said that in the right order. I love her channel, and I always say that incorrectly. I do apologise. I've also found 2 new channels this month, which I was really impressed with. The first one was, let me just get this correct so I say the name right, Mythical Witchery. Their name is Lisa, and I saw a really beautiful, a really lovely video. I love Lisa's comfy, cozy vibe in their videos, and also they've got a beautiful kitty cat which makes an appearance in several videos I've watched. So I've been really impressed with that. And I've also spoken to Lisa in the comment section, and yeah, lovely person, really lovely. And then the second new channel that I stumbled upon was Mystic Emzie. I stumbled upon one of their videos. They were doing like a deck organisation video, and that was I was watching that video, and I felt so sorry for them, because they pulled all their decks out onto their bed, and there was just so many decks, and they were going to reorganise, and you know, and my heart just went out to them, because who hasn't been there? You know, you get a bee in your bonnet, but you want to reorganise your decks, and you pull them all out, and you think, oh, where do I go from here? I so felt, my heart went out to that person who was looking and filming that video, and looking at the bed full of decks and thinking, where do I go from here? So those 2 channels I can really recommend. They're really good content. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's pretty much, that's my May wrapped up. So, you know, Melocina and shapeshifting, my dragons and the treasure references, arts and crafty, filling my cup and feeding my soul goodness, making a move, you know, making a change, hopefully physically making a move to a new apartment. Watch this space. I'll hopefully have some more updates for you in June. But if not, if I don't end up moving to that apartment, it obviously was not meant to be, but my search for a new apartment will continue. So watch this space. I think that's it. I think I'm done and dusted. If I don't come upon something else right at the end of the video that I haven't mentioned, but you know, hey ho, that happens. I'm gonna thank you so much for watching and spending some time with me. Yeah, what say you? Leave me a comment in the comment section if you'd like to. What have you been working with in May? What has been your main focus for May? Let me know. What's your focus for June? I am nosy. I do like to know these kind of things, and I find it interesting what other people are up to in their practices. So yes, yeah, have a lovely morning, afternoon or evening wherever you are. Take care, and I really hope to see you next time. Toodaloo.